Hi everyone, I wanted to put this video together about the Georgia Guidestones and their destruction, and I found some interesting connections to pi. Okay, so it's all about pi and phi, and I just wanted to put this video together and kind of go through some of the connections and the significance of the date and what was happening in the sky. We want to keep watching what's happening in the sky when these significant landmark events happen. So let's get into it. This video won't be too long, but just a quick little recap of really what's going on with the Guidestones. A lot of people didn't like the Guidestones because of this terminology that they're using here to maintain humanity under 500 million. So this was written in many different languages. So maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. So like they're maintaining how reproduction is happening, like, or monitoring it, sorry. Unite humanity with the living new language. So they're going to get rid of all the languages and create a new one. Rule passion, faith, and tradition. So they're going to tell you what to be passionate about, have faith with, and what your traditions should be. And all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. So basically a one world order, which is one politics and one court system, very hard to fight, okay, and create diversity. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights and social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature, leave room for nature. Okay, so they're putting nature above humanity. And I don't like it when they use the word cancer, because cancer is the gateway of man originally, and they created this disease to put a negative connotation to the sign, which rules the summer solstice. It's ruled by the moon. Many people interpreted this as like a New World Order agenda to lower the population on the planet. So NPR said the Georgia monument, seen by some as satanic, was damaged from a pre-dawn explosion. And this happened on July 6th. So this is the explosion that took down the back side from the plaque. And the back side from the plaque has the Egyptian hieroglyphs at the top, Chinese on one side and Arabic on the other. It's showing the different languages here on this picture. They proceeded to dismantle them and demolish them after the explosion because of the danger. Now, this picture I found, and they're saying that they think that the Roman Catholic Rosicrucian order created these because of the carved engraving saying the author is an R.C. Christian. So this is just an assumption that it's the Rosicrucians. And then it's saying here this was sponsored by a small group of Americans who seek the act of reason. Okay, so it's an astronomical stone as well. It has alignments, and it shows in this picture the alignments. The astronomic features are a channel through the stone indicates celestial pole, horizontal slot indicates annual travel of the sun, sunbeam through capstone marks noontime throughout the year. And then they also have the author here, R.C. Christian, and then the time capsule. Place 6 feet below the spot on to be opened on. And then, they didn't say when, because maybe there was this option that the timelines would change and this thing would be taken down. It's kind of a, people are kind of happy about it because it's like, it represents the apocalypse and it not being a very good outcome. Now, the reason people think it was the Rosicrucians is because I guess of this old picture, this alchemic picture where there's RC on the doorway to get through the door. And they use Matthew 7:14, which is because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. And it's the middle narrow path. That's what I've been teaching, and that's what, I've been trying to guide people to get onto this middle narrow path through astrology, because you have a way of getting onto the middle ladder. And this is what it's all about. But was it the Rosicrucians that built this, and are they evil? Have they got infiltrated and turned evil? Who the heck knows, right? All I know is their teachings are telling you how to get free. Okay, now whether they are nefarious now, maybe they are. I don't know, but I don't want to put the name in a bad basket or a name in a good basket, because that's polarity again, right? So you just have to understand everything can shift. Something that's good could have turned evil, and something that's evil can turn good. And you have to realize that, you're just in a maze trying to figure this stuff out. Now, some people are saying that somebody went in there and created the explosion. Other people have the videos showing that nobody actually was there. Okay, so the news is saying somebody drove away in a silver sedan, but other videos are showing that it was like an act of God, like that was a lightning bolt or whatever that took it down. So who knows, but all I know is they demolished it on July 7th. The site is about 7 miles, 11 kilometers north of Alberton. Okay, so 7-11, which is interesting. 7 being Libra, 11 being Aquarius. Okay, Balance and Aquarius. And about 90 miles, or 1.45 kilometers east of Atlanta. So it's we got Atlanta, Atlantis, 90, which is the sacred number for freedom, near the South Carolina state line. Granite quarry is a top local industry, employing about 2,000 in the area. So this is why it was built there, I guess, with the local granite. And then they're saying here, there's a bomb squad. Technicians were called out to look for evidence. And a state highway that runs near the site was closed for a time. No suspects were identified. So they don't have anybody. Somebody said if you didn't like it, you didn't have to come and see it and read it. Okay, but unfortunately, somebody decided they didn't want it to anyone to read it anymore. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't really nice what was on there. This is giving the time of around 4 a.m. Somebody had given me the time at 4:33. So they're saying here there's a video of a silver sedan leaving, which I mentioned before. And yeah, so anyhow, I wanted to just post this for the time. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I'm really focused on Pi Day, which is Einstein's birthday, and this blood moon that's happening at 322 on Pi Day in 2025. Okay, so on March 14th. That's happening at 322. So March 22nd, 322, 1980 is when these guide stones were built. So we have that 322 again. In my last video, I explained how Archimedes, that was how he found the equation of pi, was through the number 223. Backwards is 322. That's part of pi. Okay, so we got the pi connection again with this event. Now here I took the date that it was created, March 22nd, 1980, to the date it was the explosion happened, July 6, 2022. And it's actually 42 years. And the 42 are the 42 judges in Egyptian mythology. And 3 months, which is the Trinity, but 14 days. But 3 months and 14 days, that's pi. Okay, so you see how it always comes back to pi. I'm telling you, it's infinity. Trump wore the infinity glove. The Thanos glove, it's just, there's pi everywhere. It says pi, pi, pi. It's crazy now. It's like, it's actually comical. So this is definitely a script that we're in. But, I'm starting to wonder, we had CERN open up again. And, did they change the timeline? Because now, so many things are happening. And the fascinating thing about CERN is that it's a circle. So it's pi, right? It's, it's just, and it's 17 miles. 17 miles. It's like, that's the letter Q, right? It's like, oh, it's just crazy. So anyhow, this time between July 3rd and July 7th is actually known as the Sirius Gateway. I didn't tell you guys that when I did my last video about Sirius. I didn't know that this was a Sirius Gateway time of the year. It's just really weird for me because my late husband was born on July 3rd. So every year from July 3rd to the 7th, a gateway of energy opens between Earth and Sirius, which is known as our spiritual sun, helping to awaken, activate, and elevate us to higher levels of consciousness. So just the fact that attention was put on the guide stones so that people know what they were, because a lot of people didn't know what they were, right? If you told them, do you know what the Georgia Guidestones are? They had no idea, right? So now it's in the news, it's in the mainstream news. So people are starting to inquisitive people will maybe start to look into what they were and find out what was written on them. So it's all helping with the awakening process for the masses. And it's just crazy because then next thing you know, CERN, happens and then, or opens up again. And then we have this scandal with Boris Johnson. So he's, resigning. I think there was a prime minister in Japan this morning I read that got shot. So, are some of the elite getting taken out, asked to step away or being removed? So lots going on since CERN, reopened. So here's a look at the sky at the time of the explosion. We had on the helical rising at the east, Venus, right, and the Pleiades. They were just, there they are, right there. It's always about the Pleiades because that's the throne of God. Right? And Venus is in the Silver Gate between the horns of Taurus, which is the gate of Isis, who, is also tied into the Egyptian mythology of the Duat. And you always have to check to see where the moon was, right? Because the moon moves fast in the sky and it has significance in its placement. So the moon was on Zanaha star, which is right a little bit farther along after Zabijaba. It's hard, I can hardly see this, but it's Virgo because it was just below the horizon. So it wasn't showing in the sky. But the moon was on Zanaha. So I had to go in and check out the history of that star. Zanaha is from El-Zwaaha. Okay, and then in China, it was the left-hand maintainer of law. It lies on the left side of the Virgin, which is Virgo, and just to the westward is the point of the autumnal equinox, which the Chinese knew as Yi Meng, Heaven's Gate. Okay, so it was Heaven's Gate. They had the moon on Heaven's Gate when they took this down. So this is a good omen. That whole section of the sky with the Zabijava was known to Ptolemy having put money first for Zanaha, means adulteress and harlot. So there's a negative connotation to it there. We have seen how Virgo has had such reputation in the past. So Virgo can sometimes be Lilith or, that she's the harlot, right? But she's also the Mary. They're also saying that here. So that's the duality of Virgo, right? So they're saying here Zabijava is a little mosque. This is in Arabic astrology. And then down here they're saying that Zanaha gives grain, voyages, harvests, and freedom of captives. So there you go. So the moon was in a very good placement. Heaven's Gate and freedom of captives. And I guess all of this is happening with Osiris in conjunct with the sun, which is also going to be happening on Pi Day in 2025. Osiris is conjunct with the sun, and he's the god of the duat of the other realm, right? In Egyptian mythology, he's the god of the dead, they say, but this is like the ascended souls. Like he decides which way, helps decide which way where you're going and everything. Okay, so he's the god of the other realm. So, this is what we're trying to do, right? Get to the other realm. So the fact that, this is why all this is happening right now. And because he's right between the two pillars, he's on the middle path, right between the ascended soul and the mortal soul of Castor and Pollux. And this is really significant because this all ties into 9/11, because Jupiter was there and on 9/11, which he's the god of this realm, Jupiter. Okay, so you can say he doesn't want us to ascend Jupiter. He wants you to be here. He'll give you good fortune if you just work and you stay here. But if you start thinking about escaping this realm, he doesn't like that. Okay, so Jupiter doesn't want humans to become immortal. So this is Jupiter on 9/11 in 2001, and this T-Jot star on the heel of Castor is very, is where Mercury was on when they took the guide stones down. Okay, the moon is very close there. A couple of hours later, he's there. Okay, but he was on the hammer of Orion when they took it down, like in the morning of 9/11. So you can see here the moon. It's hard to see the moon, but the moon's conjunct with T-Jot at like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. So when everybody's being traumatized by the news that evening, this is when the moon was there. So it's it's almost like they're replaying, kind of like, it's like, in a way, kind of balancing some of this. The T-Jot star was a brand or mark on the right side of the camel originally in Arabic astrology. Okay, so the horse's neck was defined by the Persian astronomer. So it was a mark, a brand. So that's why it's a significant star, I guess. That's why they use it for these rituals. So also, they're saying here it's for hunting, besieging towns, and the revenge of princes. Destroys harvests and fruits, and hinders the operations of the physician. Okay, so it's just interesting. It's like the brand mark. So the moon was on Zanaha on the explosion, and then when they demolished it on 7/7, which is also very significant, July 7th, the double sevens, right? The lucky seven. This is when Trump got inaugurated. He was like 7 years old and 7 months and 7 days. So it's a 777, but it's important, okay? The date. And now the moon was in conjunction with Spica. That's the harvest star. That is the Washington Monument. And it's all aligning. I've done many videos on this, the spring triangle, how this is all aligning with the White House. This is the monument, the Spica star. And then Regulus is the Capitol building on the Washington Triangle. Okay, so it's all aligning to the stars, and the White House would be Arcturus up in Boots. Okay, so the sacred triangle. So this is when they took this down, was within that sacred triangle. Okay, now the fact that the Spica star aligns to the Washington Monument, I started looking into. This is all happening on the Sirius Gateway. Okay, I started looking into the hieroglyphs for the Sirius star, and it has the obelisk as part of its symbolism. So that is really cool, because now I'm starting to understand the importance of Sirius and what it really means in the significance to the Washington Monument. Now, the Sirius star aligns from the Queen's chamber, so it's feminine, right? And they're saying here that the phalanx, which is the obelisk, represents Osiris, okay? And that's in Osiris is conjunct with the sun. And then, of course, the pentagram is always feminine, Venus. But they're saying here that it's the dome representing Isis and the star preceding Horus. But the star is definitely Venus, Isis. So, and the dome, I've looked into the dome, and the symbol that I found, it said it was a loaf of bread. So I think this whole Sirius star with the obelisk, it's like the two paths. You either go the pent or you become the bread. And it's basically tying into the harvest, right? The obelisk is the harvest, aligning to the spica star. It's all about the star. And so Ringo's star, comes out and says 7-7. He holds up the two peace signs, and he does this little video like a day ago, and he's going 7-7, 7-7 when he's holding up the two peace signs. So that's what that means, is number 77. And the Beatles know the game, right? They totally get it and what this is all about. So anyhow, I just thought that was cool that he did this little like 28-second video holding up 7-7, and they take down the guide stones on that day. And there's Yoko and John with the two roses, right? The red and white rose. And you see this in the Alice in Wonderland, that she's painting the roses red, okay? Because the red and white unity, I explained this before, it's the albedo and the rubedo in alchemy. It's the shining white marrying the red king, the queen, the white queen, and the red king. And then you get the marriage of the two. Okay, and this is the War of the Roses, basically, but this is what this is all about. And so Sirius is also known as the Shining One, so the white goddess, because it's tying into the path to Alcyone, and she's the white goddess up in the Pleiades. And, so there's this balance of these energies, okay? So male and feminine, male and, female energies. So it's just all a game. But it's fascinating to watch it all play out and how they're lining it to the sky and to the dates. It's just mind-boggling. And I think there's going to be more and more things happening since CERN, reopened. It seems to have changed things. So Neptune is relating to the god of storms, and we've seen the tsunami symbolism everywhere, and it's tying into New York like crazy. But then Time Magazine, somebody sent me this. Time Magazine is, the July issue is a tsunami. So, there's stuff going down, guys. And, it's like, Neptune is, the god of storms with the wave, and he's Christ consciousness. Okay, so maybe there's a tsunami of, things turning around. This is a positive thing. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm kind of like, okay, it definitely feels like there's new energies. I feel like it's going really positive now. So I'm hoping you're feeling like that too. And I'm just finding it, more and more exciting every day. Yes, and I know there's bad things happening, but, I don't really see death as something really bad anymore, because you just know that you're just, getting re-looped back. It's like once you believe in reincarnation, you just see it all as a game, right? I know it's sad, you get separated from your loved ones and everything, but you don't really, because, I do believe that true love never has separation. Okay, so then I was on my computer, and I looked down at the bottom to, for searching, and I'm going, what the heck is that? There's a lamb, a sheep, and a DNA picture. It's not there today. It was only there like, I don't know, for 1 or 2 days, and I hadn't really zoomed in on it. And then I looked at it. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's the two paths right on my computer on the search bar. So it's the red and blue, which is balancing the two energies again, DNA. That's one path. Or you're going to follow the sheep path, which is basically, AI and updated every 9 months like a computer. It has to do for fighting viruses. It's basically turning into a computer if you go that path. So I'm just like, it's literally everywhere. Like, it just keeps showing me that this is the game, right? So I hope you guys are enjoying the game, or at least having some form of entertainment from it, because this is what it's all about. When you can laugh at the game of life, you've mastered it. Literally, you've mastered it, because you no longer see darkness as a negative. It's just a teacher, and you don't fear death, because you just realize that you're more than this life in this body, and that's divinity. I was also thinking about when Trump said the calm before the storm. And my last video, I was talking about Alcyone being the white goddess in the halcyon days, right? Which is the calm before the storm. So there you go. It's the white goddess is Sirius, okay? And there's this alignment, well, Sirius and Alcyone, it's the path between, it's the duat path. It's the two paths, right? That whole line is to do with the whiteness, right? The balancing out the darkness. I guess it's like when you have to find that your heart becomes lighter than a feather, and that's when you get to go to the afterlife, right? And so I guess you get to go to the afterlife with your full memory of what the game is, and that's what this is all about. It's all about retaining your knowledge. This is what this is about. Everybody dies. It's not a big terrible thing to die, but the goal is to go through death and retain memory. Go watch Dan Winter's last video. He's starting to talk about time travel and how to do the importance of lucid dreaming so you can retain memory through death. This is a science. This is not mythology. This is really about mastering your mind and mastering your mind through dreams. Right? And this is really important. And that's Neptune. That's the tsunami. That's the storm. Okay, because he brings the storm to help you raise your consciousness, okay, to awaken you to who you really are and your abilities to become this superhuman that can retain memory through death. Okay, so this is, I do believe, what ascension really is. So, anyhow, it's all very exciting, and go check out Dan's video. I thought it was awesome. He's going to do a two-part, I guess, in the next couple of days. So, stay tuned. He's giving the goods and telling you how scientifically this all works. For me, this is just all entertainment to watch it all and play out. To just watch it roll out and to see the symbolism. Because the more you see it, the more you go into bliss, because you just realize it's all a game. Okay, so enjoy. Bliss to you all, and thanks for everybody that supported me for taken readings or joining up in the school. I'm doing the second class tonight, and the website is on its way to be easy accessibility to sign up and just pick whichever course that you want to take. So stay tuned. Lots of new stuff coming, and thanks, guys, for all your support. Bliss to you.